Always had a passion for music, you know I do this. I had to fall back and handle my daddy duties. Built my studio, was about to get back into it. Then I was waking up in an IC unit. 2 weeks in a coma. Life support machine, couldn't breathe on my own with all these tubes down my throat. Family visits daily, first week couldn't talk to them. Doctors telling me no guarantee I'll ever walk again. Meanwhile, I think I go and see now. Pine is still locked up, the studio just burnt down. 2 months in his hospital bed before I was turfed out. Trying to keep a positive mentality, thinking losing my sanity. But I'm still here. They said I was supposed to die, I guess it wasn't my time, cause I'm still here.
Listen to me. This is my son. I want to make some nice and son enough. Cause he didn't tell you the whole story. He said I'm still here. And he don't tell me why. Right? A couple years ago, he contracted this thing called sepsis. Never heard of it before. Right? And he's still here. So I have to give thanks.
I just started getting mad pains in my leg. Got worse and worse by the day to a point where I couldn't walk. Went to the doctors. They told me it was just a muscle strain. Next day, it was like the worst pain I've ever had in my life. So it just got really ridiculous until my mum was like, listen, if it carries on any longer, you got to call the ambulance. It carried on. My missus called the ambulance. They came. As soon as I kind of explained what was going on to them, because they was like, oh, when was the last time you've been to the toilet? I thought to myself, to be honest, I don't remember going to the toilet for at least a week. And as soon as I said that, they was like, your organs are shutting down. This is sepsis. Oh, we got to go now. So we got in the ambulance. We got to the hospital. They was like, oh, we're going to have to operate. I thought, oh, cool. I'll be home tomorrow. I don't know why I thought that. Yeah, I thought I'd be home tomorrow. I woke up like 2 weeks later. Tubes down my throat. Couldn't talk. Tubes in my neck. Some shit around my leg. I thought my leg was so big, I thought I had a cast on my leg. But it was just where all the operations was. My leg was swollen up to about 3 times its normal size. So, yeah, I was in hospital for 2 months.
Did they warn you were going to come out like that with the tubes down your throat? So you just wait?
Oh, no. They just said, oh, we're going to have to operate. So I was like, oh, cool. I'll be all right by tomorrow.
Just put you out.
Yeah, I literally thought I'd be home in like a day or 2 max. So
at least give you like heads up, listen, you're going to be here for a bit.
No, they did not tell me none of that.
And you were in a coma?
Yeah, I was in a coma. Well, it was an induced coma. But that's because they didn't know how to treat me. So
right, okay.
The original plan was to chop my leg off. Even when I first woke up, they was like, yo, like, your leg still might come off. It's only because my dad pleaded them and said, nah, like, you can't take his leg off. So that's why they saved my leg.
Wow. Man.
So yeah, now it's just a lot of physio and trying to get better. Shout out to Back to Action, because they got me walking again.
Sick.
So yeah, it's just trying to get my legs stronger, and where I've been on crutches for so long is now in my hip, so walking is just a problem. But yeah, it was count your blessings, innit? It could have been worse.
So you hear a lot of stories about people who've been in comas, like they can hear things, they can remember. Do you remember anything when you were in a coma?
Oh yeah, I knew I was in a coma, yeah.
Oh wow.
I just thought, when am I going to wake up? So it's like, even when you're in a coma, you go to sleep and you still dream. So a lot of the things that I was dreaming, I didn't know if it was happening or not, but wow. I definitely knew I was in a coma. The only thoughts that's in my head is that I'm either in a coma or I'm dead. That's literally what I thought while I was in a coma until they woke me up.
So you were sort of conscious?
Yeah, because
Mad.
I knew that I went in for an operation and I haven't woke up since. That's what I knew.
Wow.
But it's kind of like an out-of-body experience, so I can see myself while I was in a coma. But obviously I didn't know what the room looked like, so what it really looked like wasn't what I pictured it like. Yeah, it was all imagination.
Wow,
yeah, I even had a dream while I was in a coma that they was trying to wake me up out of the coma, and I didn't wake up.
Wow, man.
So, but I thought that was real. So when I woke up, I was like, "Yo, Mum, remember when they tried to?" And she's like, "Nah, none of that happened. That was just a dream. That was a dream you had." Like when I first went into the coma, instantly I seen my nan and my brother, and they're not alive.
Oh wow, okay.
But it's not like I knew I was getting put into the coma. So
right, okay. So you thought you'd pass?
Yeah, literally. So mad. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Is that what you mentioned them in the track? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's mad. I'm glad I asked you that question, because I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, I wonder if you actually experienced anything while he was in there.
Yeah, 100%. But a lot of the things that I thought I experienced didn't happen. So I know I was dreaming while I was in a coma. But I knew I was in a coma.
It was
just a matter of when the hell are they going to wake me up. you're literally in a coma thinking, yo, when the hell am I going to wake up? Yeah, like literally. Like, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if a normal coma was like that or because I was in an induced coma, but I knew I was in a coma. I knew it was one of the two. Dead or I was in a coma. So, yeah, it's crazy. And then when I woke up, I couldn't talk for a whole week.
So yeah, what was that like when you woke up and you felt like, did you like sort of panic or anything like that? Or
originally when I woke up I went ballistic and started pulling all this shit out of my neck. So they had to put me back in the coma for a few hours and then call my mum and said, yo, you lot need to be here when he wakes up to calm him down because we can't hold him. Yeah, exactly. And then when I woke up I was like 3 stone lighter. Couldn't even lift up a phone. Like literally my mum had to hold the cup for me to drink. I was just completely weak. Completely weak. When I first saw myself in the mirror, I was like, what the hell? I've never been this skinny in years. So yeah, it's crazy experience.
How have you found the process of coming from that and getting back to like old Ellis? Because like even though you're on your crutches, you're pretty much back to your old self.
Yeah. On the outside, there's still days where it's like fucking hell, like this is just long. Like I'm at football training with my son and the ball will go past me and I can't even put my leg out to get the ball and it's like, oh, this is fucking long, innit? So yeah, it's stressful, I can't lie, it's stressful. I went through a slight stage where I might have been kind of depressed. Like I wasn't going out, I wasn't doing shit. Like if I was going somewhere I knew there'd be a crowd, I was like, no, I'm not going. I'm not going. Yeah, I didn't want to show myself. Or like, I feel mad anxious. If I knew there's certain places where I have to go, I'm like, nah, shit, man, and just mad anxiety. But
is that because of your image from before, because you don't want to look soft like we were talking about yesterday, or is that just the anxiety of how you're feeling about yourself?
I think it's a bit of both. And then you get the questions, oh, what happened to you? Like, so some people, because I'm not one of those guys, like most people would have been, oh, first day of waking up a coma photo and putting it on Facebook. I'm not one of those guys. So literally nobody knew apart from my immediate family and a selected few that I went through that. Then people are still finding out, like, what? That happened? Like, because I'm not one of those guys, oh, fucking hell, I just had 5 operations, post a picture of my leg, and I wasn't one of those guys, so nobody knew. So whenever I went out on crutches, it just came with a lot of questions. So I just didn't like it. I'm a low-key guy. So yeah, it was.
You didn't say anything on Facebook.
I didn't say shit. I didn't say shit. No one knew until the song came out. Like no one had a clue, apart from literally my immediate people. And my immediate people don't do social media. If you notice, my actual friends are not on social media at all.
I've noticed that.
I'm literally on social media by myself.
Yeah. The man that I know you with.
Then they don't do social media at all. So yeah, nobody knew.
That's kind of crazy still. Like,
so yeah, that's the only time I felt like. Because I'm quite a confident guy. But that's the only time I felt like vulnerable.
So what inspired you to put out I'm Still Here? What did you just say, like, I want to tell this story? Because you're so low key. Why did you decide to put it?
It took a while. Like literally, I was done with music.
Wow.
I was complete. Like when I got home, after 2 months, everyone's like, yo, you must have so much songs. And I was like, yo, fuck music. And obviously, while I was in hospital, the studio burnt down. So I was really like, wow, this is God telling me that music's a rap. Fuck music. I was done. I was so done with music. But it's like, when you make music, it's kind of hard. Not like, it would just come into your head. So the whole thing came into my head. I heard the beat and literally I had the song within a day. Like, when you've got a story to tell, it's just easy to come up with. So
it's not bullshit.
Yeah, that was literally the first song I made. Literally the first song I made after. And I already had videos piled up from before. Because I shot like a video maybe 2 weeks before I got ill.
Oh, really?
The Want the Money song. So I already had that to release. So I woke up to flipping messages from Candy for him saying, yo, what you saying? Like, because he must have heard about it. So he's like, what's going on? Like, yeah, like, the video's done. And I was like, fucking hell, because my mind was gone when I first woke up. I couldn't even, they asked me to sign some shit. I couldn't even remember my signature.
Bro.
It's like, my mind was completely gone. So all those kind of stuff was bringing back my memory. So when Candy Farm was like, yo, what you saying? Video's done. I'm just checking if you're alright. I'm thinking, what video? And then it came to my mind, shit, I just shot the video. I haven't seen it yet.
That's mad.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was all that kind of shit. So
how hard was it to come back to music?
It was hard.
You were done.
Yeah, it was hard. And I didn't know if anyone even cared. Like, Do you know what I'm saying? You always get that anyway because I'm not famous. So it's like, does anyone care about me making music?
I do.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was a selective few that was like, yo, we need you back making music.
Straight up.
So I didn't know how I was gonna be perceived, and even that, just uploading music, I had anxiety from that. But when I put out the Want the Money track, it got good feedback.
You got a good reception.
Yeah, it got a good reception. So I was like, okay. It's not as hard as I thought it would be. It's either they like it or they don't, really. Why do I...
But you had a following before.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You had sort of people to fall back on. Maybe not everybody that was listening to you, but you had a certain circle that was listening to you anyway.
But I kind of thought to myself, because it was so long, like it was a good like 3-4 years I haven't put on nothing. Like social media changed in that space of time. There was no Spotify, there was none of that. So
no streaming.
I had to literally learn all that shit. So it was basically like, I remember Wish said to me, like, you just got to look at it like you're starting fresh. And then when I put stuff out, Wish was like, well, it's not even like you're starting fresh, because people still like, it's Ellis, innit? Yeah. So yeah, it was just that. So I put out the first song, it was like, oh, it's not that bad.
And see, the thing is, when artists take a 3 or 4 year gap with a man like yourself, because you haven't said anything, everyone's just going to assume you've been in the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been here for 4 years working.
Or they're just going to assume you fell off. Is one of his. Yeah. And that's what I was thinking. They thought that, and because I put out the Want the Money track, and they didn't explain the story. But like, if you look at the Want the Money track, I actually look different. Like, I've lost mad weight from then till now, so I actually look different. So when I put out the Still Here track, it's like, oh, that makes sense. It makes sense.
When you put that out, I was like, now I know where he's been.
Yeah, exactly. So.
How did it feel when your dad put it out there on the stage? Obviously, you hadn't really said what had happened. You told the story, but you didn't really explain it was sepsis.
I didn't really like that. Anyone, I don't like to make a scene. If you notice, I was trying to exit the stage, and he called me straight. But I was trying to get the hell out of there because I know how he is. I didn't like that. But yeah, he phoned me the other day because I commented on your thing and said, "Oh, my dad loves to make a scene." Yeah. So he must have seen it. It's like, "Yo, you're my son, and at the end of the day, I need to tell your story." So I'm like, "Alright, cool, dad."
He saw you like you could have been gone.
Yeah, that changed my dad. That changed him. Like, he was literally phone when I was in hospital. He would visit and phone me every single day. Like, even since I come out, he does it now. I'm like, Dad, I'm alright, and he don't phone me every day now. You know?
Were you quite close before that, or was?
Yeah, we was always close, but not like he phoned me every day close.
Got you.
But we've always been close. Still. Cool. My family, we're like a tight knit family, really. So literally, like, I had my own room in the hospital, and there was no visiting time for my family. Like, I had family visiting me at midnight.
Oh, man.
And the hospital wouldn't be like, nah, you're not allowed. They'd be like, oh, you must be here for Ellis, or let them through. That's literally how it was. I'd have like 20 people in my room every single day.
But it's different when you can't go anywhere. So like
exactly.
Restrict you like that.
Exactly.
Because you've got your own room.
Yeah.
If you're in a public ward, it's a bit different.
Yeah, exactly. But they knew, because of the amount of visitors, like, even when I was in ICU, they knew he had to have his own ward. Because the guy was at first, my mum kept saying, oh, when are you going to take him off the ward and take him out of ICU and put him in the ward? They was like, oh, there's no guarantee he's going to get his own room. But they knew the amount of visitors he's getting every day. He has to get his own room. So, yeah.
What was that like, living in an ICU? Because you were there for a couple of months, you said.
ICU was terrible.
Yeah, what was that like?
It was a nightmare. It was literally a nightmare, because in ICU, you only could get visits for like an hour a day. And like, while I was in ICU, I couldn't move. I was literally shit bag, piss bag, couldn't get out of the bed, couldn't move. I was literally just like this. Tubes in the neck, tubes in the nose.
How's that feel?
The ones in the nose and the throat was the worst.
Really?
The worst. And I couldn't eat for like 2 weeks. Just all tubes. Yeah, all tubes. Couldn't shit. I was just thinking, I can't wait to a point where I could take a shit.
Yeah.
Like, literally. And then they moved me into the ward. It was just weird how people wiping my ass. Like, all my pride was gone. It got to a point where I had no pride in it. I had people wiping my ass. Or like, once the tubes came out and the shit bag was gone, I had nurses wiping my ass. And like, shout out to nurses, man. I actually used to say to the nurses, I respect you lot, man. Like, the same nurses I used to see when I go to sleep with the same nurses I used to see when I wake up. So, yeah, how the hell do you lot stay awake?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, nurses.
They do like 12 hours.
They're so important. And like, a conversation from a nurse just means so much. Like, they will get you through your thing.
Because that's your only.
Yeah, like literally, the nurses got me through it. Like, literally, ICU. Once I was on the ward and I had the Zimmer frame thing and I could get to the toilet, I started to feel like myself again. But before that, yeah, ICU was just hard. It was hard, just mad pain. couldn't drink, couldn't eat. There was days where I couldn't eat for like 3 days. I wouldn't know because I was having operation after operation every single day.
Really?
Yeah, every day. I had 5 operations in total. And when on operation day, you can't eat for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So there was this days like once the troops came out and I actually could eat, that's when they started with the operation. So I still couldn't eat. There was times when I flopped my own operation because I was like, yo, fuck this, I'm eating.
I'm eating hungry.
Like, yeah, fuck the operation. That's how hungry I was. Like, I was like, fuck the operation. So it was just hard, and then coming out and being in a wheelchair for like 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
Wheelchair for 6 months and double crutches for like another year. These are the parts that nobody's seen because nobody's seen me, so nobody knows about that. But yeah, it was all wheelchair and crutches for like 2 years.
How was that for you, like knowing you couldn't get out of this chair and that sort of stuff? Did that hurt your pride a little bit?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
And where did you find the drive to, like, because obviously some people get to that point, like, I can't be fucked, I give up.
Kids.
How did you, bang,
kids.
there we go.
Literally, my kids. And then I had another kid while I was in the wheelchair. I don't know how I managed to pull that one off, but yeah, I managed to do it. The third leg was working, boy. So I managed to have another child. So yeah, it's kids and family, man. Kids and family. You don't realize how much people got love for you until you end up in that situation. Even like random people from Facebook would just message me like, yo, I heard what happened, what the fuck, man? Get well soon. I was like, yo, people actually care about me. This is mad. I didn't have a fucking clue, you get me? So it was a shit like that. Like, literally people I only see like once in a blue moon, once they heard, they was shouting me out. I remember I went to Garage Nation, this was like, and people just coming up to me and hugging me and shit. And I was like, yo, this is mad. So
I didn't know what had happened to you. Yeah. Said it on stage. And I was just like, raw. That's why.
I'm not one of those people that promote shit like that. So I didn't say nothing. But yeah, it was mad.
That's why I kept the camera. I could tell, and I was like, he's gonna tell what happened. Like, I could just feel it. I was like, yo, I need to film this bit. And then I was like, right, it was like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. So
because even with hip hop, sometimes, like you say, rap is fake in it. So I was like, is this actually happening to him? But I could hear in the tone. I was like, this happened, but I don't know the full story. But I was like, it's them ones that you're not sure if is it just content, because people do make them kind of videos where it is just content and like they're making up these scenarios or whatever. But you can just kind of tell, man, that video is heartfelt in it. Like the tone of voice and everything, you can just tell, man. And I remember just watching it over and over. I was like, what happened to this guy? I see you in it. What? I was,
nobody knew.
Like, again, I'm not one of these guys who's going to reach out and be like, yo, blood, what happened? Because it's not my business, is it? Like, if I see you, I'm like, yeah, you're right.
There's people who know me personally and they didn't even know. So it was. Yeah, everyone knows how I am, so no one didn't really go around like spreading the word. Like I didn't post, not a lot of people would be doing them posts, and it didn't even come in my mind to take a picture. Like there's no photo. There's one photo. There's only one photo of me in hospital, and that's while I was in a coma.
Right.
I didn't take no photos in hospital, not one.
That's mad.
Literally.
Did you hear anyone's conversations while they're in the room with you? Like, is you like your mum?
Yeah. Really? But some of them didn't happen. Like there was times I said to people, "Yeah, I remember that conversation." Like, nah, that never actually happened. But yeah, I knew that people was coming to visit me, and all of that,
Mad.
all of that. You definitely are aware when you're in a coma.
That's so mad.
I was so aware. That's so crazy. Some of it was real, some of it wasn't, but you definitely hear the conversations.
And you're still sort of conscious.
Yeah, you're so conscious.
Because the idea of the coma is to put you out in it and let your body heal or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if your brain's still active and you're conscious.
Yeah, your brain is so active.
You must feel trapped. Like that must feel weird as fuck.
It's like being entrapped inside your own head.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Unable to move.
It's just you. It's just you.
That's mad. I can't even imagine it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And like you said in your dream you saw like the images and stuff. Like
yeah.
Mad. That's so crazy to me. Fucking hell, fam. Oh yeah, that comes to sepsis thing. I just wanted to put that in there. It's a big story, isn't it?
Yeah. Out of body experience, man.
That's so mad.
It's one of those things. If you know your body and know that something ain't right, get it seen to, man. Yeah, even when the doctor said to me, "Oh, it's just a hamstring strain," I was like, "Yo, get the fuck out!" I know this ain't no hamstring strain. Like I used to play sport. I know a hamstring strain when you get one. Like this is something deeper than that.
Yeah, you knew it.
I knew it was something deeper than that. Really, I should have sued. I should have sued them.
You should have done
it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
That's mad.
I seen the same doctor when I came out, and she gave me a hug and apologized and shit, because she knew. she could have killed me.
No, things like you could have had for malpractice, bro.
She gave me like a blood test. The blood test came. I got the results when I came out of hospital. So I was like 3 months later. So I would have been long dead by then.
Gone.
Exactly. Like, so yeah, if you know yourself and you know your body didn't recognize it normally does, go and get help, man. And if they brush you off, don't have it.
No, don't.
Don't have it. You know yourself, and everyone knows their self. So just don't have it, but they will brush you off.
Dude, thank you for telling your story, innit? Because that's epic. Thank you, bro.
We do more than them, ball on them. We ahead, check the score again. When a guard gets me, that's unfortunate. Treat beef like cattle and slaughter them. I don't even bust shots, I'm just calling them. If you wanna eat a food, put your order in. Used to get it on the streets, now I'm corporate. If money's involved, I'm all for it. I'm doing the most. They still trying to catch up, but they ain't even close, so we doing the most.